Today's building project will take us way back to 1979 when my novice ticket roots were very freshly planted. Okay, Wayback Machine. Let's go. A new novice, with an amateur radio ham station back in the day, often used older separate transmit and receive gear. Flip a switch to transmit, and the receiver would mute, while you sent CW Morse code. Talk about slow break-in. But wait, the old wise guy speaking? Is this not true of all modern ham gear? Separate transmitters and receivers? Are you in the Stone Ages, or what? True. Many complex amateur ham radio build projects from kits come as full transceivers. Often they require much knowledge of soldering surface mount components or multi-night day after day assembly. I meditated on this dilemma, in a dark cave for 40 days and 40 nights, until suddenly the earth shook violently, and a bright light suddenly beamed in from outside the cave opening. What did I say? Eureka! What if I built amateur ham radio kits just for the fun of it? Kits that bring a deep belly laugh from the depth of your soul. What would the neighbors think? Has Dave lost it again? You can homebrew stuff in a one-evening project that do not require multiple layer printed wiring boards with 2,000 part counts that take days and weeks to assemble. I have built them too, few. Or you can build them into a tuna can kit from QRPme. You will also learn to say 2 tin tunas 2 and other tongue twisters from Rex Harper, W1REX from Limerick, Maine. Or even into a mint tin can chassis. We've all seen those compact homebrew projects, crammed into an Altoids can, where crafty builders try to engineer everything but the kitchen sink into them. Today I review the Tuna Helper kit from www.qrpme.com, with an RF sensing automatic TR switch and a 4-watt dummy load including a power output measurement port. This is an easy, one-evening assembly kit, with RCA jack outputs for transmitter, receiver, and power and input for 12 volts which powers the relay circuit, and a switched-in 4-watt dummy load. Assembly is easy, with detailed instructions and photographs of every component to be placed and soldered, with lots of beginner hints and tips, populating the builder's guide and schematic. The bag of parts comes inside the sealed tuna can, which becomes the chassis for the completely assembled circuit board. Remove the plastic lid and circuit board, then pull the tab to release the parts. Carefully compare the electronic components to the parts list in the builder's guide, making sure everything is present and accounted for. Photograph very small parts with your phone and zoom out to read the label. Pay attention to specific instructions for parts that may need modification before installation. The assembly goes quickly, but take frequent breaks to give rest to your eyes and hands. This isn't a race. Correct any errors, including solder shorts or cold solder joints. Double check your work. I enjoyed every step of the building process. The completed kit will look something like this. Or like this depending on what RCA jack ports you install and configure for your own individual needs. Alternatives are for those using 2 single power wires, the receiver mute, or the power measurement. Now it is time to give this puppy a smoke test. I am building a complete HF station from QRPme Tuna can kits to try it out for POTA and SOTA activation after the shakedown trials. Video to be continued in part 2 with detailed test results of this QRPme Tuna can kit project. The cans interconnect with shielded BNC jumpers with RCA jack adapters. 72 and 73 from KU9L and KB9YYI, may all of your SOTA and POTA goals bring you zest for life. Go play radio while you still, tuna, can.
QRPme photo credits go to www.qrpme.com. Rex Harper, W1REX, QRPme, P.O. Box 160, Limerick, Maine, 04048.
Photos of Dave were taken over 44 years. Some assembly is required. Batteries not included. Your results may vary. FCC Part 97 license may be required. Coming soon, the entire QRPme Amateur Radio 2 Tin Tunas 2 HF station.